Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you doing out there? My name is Tiberious, and today we're going to take a look at the Big Bad Type 2 RMR from Trijicon. Let's go. What can I say about the RMR that already hasn't been said? In my opinion, it is the gold standard for pistol-mounted red dots. It is the most reviewed pistol-mounted red dot on YouTube. It is the most durable. It has the cleanest dot. It has the best controls, in my opinion. When I borrowed this FN 509 Tactical from that little pimp Randy, I had zero intentions in also reviewing the RMR. It's been out for a while. There's a million reviews on it. I just didn't see a value in doing it. And as I put, I don't know, 600-700 rounds through this FN 509 Tactical, I absolutely fell in love with the RMR to the point where I'm about to send my VP9 out to get milled so I can have an RMR on one of my guns as well. But let's dive up close so I can go over some of the features and explain some of the differences between the different models of the RMR. Before we go over any specifics on the RMR, let me just say how much I love that Trijicon is proudly a Christian company. Most people hide that fact nowadays, but they actually put Bible verses right on the red dots. So once my camera focuses, you'll see this one here is 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. And if you don't mind, and it says, "And we have the prophetic word more fully confirmed, to which you will do well to pay attention, as to the lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts." And I think that's very, very beautiful that they are proud of their faith. Anyway, Trijicon originally came out with the Type 1 RMR that had some flickering issues. There is accessories called the Boss Plate you can get to alleviate those issues. So the RMR was originally made more for a rifle than it was for a pistol, and that's why it had those flickering issues. So when Trijicon came out with the Type 2 RMR, it fixed all of those flickering issues by beefing up the battery contacts underneath this battery. However, the Type 1 and the Type 2 does have the same footprint, so if you have a mount for a Type 1, or if you're looking to upgrade, for the most part they'll work on the same exact pistol or the same mount with no problem. There's 3 different versions of the RMRs for the most part. There's an auto adjustment or an auto only adjustment version. There is the adjustable LED, and then there's a dual illuminated LED. And the auto adjustment RMR has a sensor that automatically adjusts the brightness of the dot based on the ambient light that the sensor picks up. And I know that sounds great, but I don't think the technology is quite there. You know, sometimes if you're in darkness shooting into light or vice versa, it doesn't work great. It's not as bright as I want it to be. Or if you're using a weapon mounted light, it's very dark in the back of the gun where the sensor is, and the front is super bright from the weapon mounted in-force light. And sometimes that dot can get washed out. So I personally, even though those are extremely popular, I personally prefer the adjustable LED. Now the adjustable LED also has an auto adjustment feature built into it. So if you want it to auto adjust, it will, or you can do the manual adjustment however you want to control it. When you have it on a manual mode, it's going to stay in manual mode for about 16.5 hours, and then it will switch back to an automatic mode to save battery. It does have a lockout feature as well, but I'll explain all that in just a minute. It seems the 3.25 is going to be the most popular. The one I have here from Randy is the 6.5 MOA dot, and I am struggling to decide which one I'm going to get. I'm leaning towards the 3.25 dot, but we'll see. Third and final is a dual illuminated version. The RMR uses fiber optic to take in ambient light, and then in low light conditions it uses tritium to illuminate the dot. It's kind of similar to the Trijicon ACOG, which is a great optic but can be a little washed out in very bright sunlight. That's why you'll see a lot of times soldiers and people who have ACOGs will tape over the tritium so it doesn't wash out the red dot. That dual illuminated version is an automatic adjustment only. So if you're not comfortable with the auto adjustment version like myself, then I would be hesitant to get that one. The adjustable LEDs like we have here, either the RM06 or the RM07, those are the most 2 popular, the 3 and the 6 MOA dots. Both of them have 8 brightness settings, and 2 of them being night vision compatible. And the way you control it It's as simply as pushing the minus for make it dimmer, and obviously the plus will make it brighter. Right now we are in manual adjustment mode. Let me get the dot here, and as I push it down, the down arrow, you see it getting dimmer. This is very hard to do on camera. I'll push the plus and it gets brighter. Now if I press and hold both buttons for 1 second, it's gonna put it into an auto adjustment mode. There you go. You see how dim it got? Because now it's on auto adjustment. I'm going to push the plus and bring it all the way back up to the highest brightness settings. The next control is I'm going to press both buttons for 3 seconds and it's going to turn off. And there you go. Now the RMR is off. Now to turn it on, we actually have 2 different ways of turning it on. If you want it to be in the lockout mode where the buttons will not work in case you press them accidentally against a holster or a seatbelt or whatever, if you press and hold both buttons at the same time for 3 seconds, it turns on in that lockout mode. And the buttons do not work no matter what. What you have to do is turn the optic back off and then back on to get out of the lockout mode. I'm not going to do that. I prefer the manual adjustment. To turn it on with the manual, you just press either one of the buttons for 3 seconds, but not both of them. So I'll press one of them here. And let's see if we got it on. There we go. It was a little dim. And now we're back on auto adjustment mode. Excuse me, manual adjustment mode. The hard anodized aluminum is what the body is made out of. It is waterproof down to 25 meters, assuming you install it correctly with the seal on the bottom. Your windage and elevation controls, one on the top and one on the side, very standard. Each click is going to be a 1 MOA adjustment. Like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it earlier, the battery is here on the bottom. It is a CR2032 battery. It has up to a 4-year battery life. That's assuming you're using level 4, the middle level. I typically used it mostly on 5, 6, or 7. What I do with any red dot that I use for self-defense of any kind is I just change the battery every New Year's Day. Even if the battery is not dead, New Year's Day I just swap fresh batteries in. As always, we love that this is made in the USA, and it says it right here on that side, made in the motherfluffin' USA. As far as price, you can get these usually $400, $450, somewhere in that area. So they're not the cheapest, but I think it's definitely worth it because they seem to be the most durable. Of course, I'll put a link in the description. If you want to get more information or pick one up, go ahead and check that link out. They are Amazon affiliate links, so it does help us out. Amazon gives us a very, very small kickback while you don't pay any more for the product. Range time with the RMR. Man, it's so much faster picking up targets. And we're at like 60, 65 yards away. Oh, look at that. Now there's a really small target way down there. I don't know if I can hit this, but let's see. Ooh, close. Oh! One of diamonds, one circle. Hi, Tiberious. Hi, Steven. Let me guess, no guns and no ammo again, huh? No, I don't have any guns and ammo. Can I shoot yours? Do you want to run the plate rack with me? Yes, please. Okay, it has the RMR on it. Just put the dot on the steel and pull the trigger, okay? All right. Oh, I'm a master with red dots and plate racks. What's this? Take your time now. Nice and easy on that trigger pull. Dude, come on. Put the dot on the steel. It's an RMR. It's that easy. Your guns suck. Let me give it a try. Looks good to me. So my final thoughts. I put about 600-700 rounds for the FN review, and then I was doing the review on the RMR separate, of course, so I had to put another 400-500 rounds through there. So I'm somewhere around 1,100-1,200 rounds total through this firearm with this red dot. And I still think the RMR is the king. Of course, the Lupo Delta Point and the Holosun red dots and a few others are making a lot of noise and challenging the RMR, but by far, in my opinion, the RMR is still the king. We'll see what happens in the future. The biggest advantage for me is going to be the speed and how easy it is. All of a sudden, my eyesight this year has fallen off a cliff. Like I'm squinting and I'm doing this kind of stuff, and it's hard to see the front sight. It's very hard to see the target at distance, and being able to shoot with both eyes open and just focus on a single dot is much, much faster for me. It's faster on the first shots, on transitions, on follow-ups. Anything I've done a bunch of different drills with it, and it's much, much faster once you learn how to shoot with the red dot. As far as cons, I don't have much. Being nitpicky again, I'll say the bottom battery compartment is a con. Besides that, I wouldn't change a thing about the RMR. Anyway, guys, thank you very, very much for watching my review. When I say I truly, truly appreciate it, I really mean that. If you could, do me those 2 quick favors. 1, click the like button. 2, click subscribe. This way you get notified when we come out with new videos. I will see y'all next time. Peace. I like RMRs.